Hello and Happy New Year, darlings. My name is Vulo and you are tuned into Vulo Vlogs. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for clicking on my video. I hope you enjoy this content and I hope that you are encouraged to click the subscribe button down below. Make sure you click the notification bell next to it so that you're notified every time I post a video. So this year I've decided to hit the ground running. No reflection video. I do not wish to reflect on 2020. If you'd like to see my 2020 reflections, you can head over to my Instagram, which I'll link below. Head over to the healing component section of my IGTV and you will find a 2020 reflections video there. So the beauty world can be quite overwhelming, right? Whether it's deciding which products are best for you or weighing out affordability versus quality, it can be really hard to know where to start. So in this video, I've decided to detail my beginner-friendly makeup starter kit essentials. So these are products that you need in your kit to execute either a simple makeup look or even a somewhat advanced-ish look. These are the products that you need. A couple of disclaimers before we get started. Number one, this video is 100% not sponsored. So everything that I mention in this video is an actual fave, and these are products that I use on myself as well as on my clients whenever I do makeup. Secondly, makeup is very subjective, so it's very important to pay attention to your skin tone as well as your skin type. My skin type is combination oily skin, which means that as much as I've got some dry patches here and there and some oily patches here and there, overall, my skin is oily and it is also acne prone. Lastly, I just wanted to mention that there will be a part 2 of this video where I will be detailing the basic makeup brushes that you need in your kit and their uses. So be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, let's get straight into this video. So first, I'd like to start off with brows. There are 3 things that you could use to do your brows. Number 1 is something that I don't currently have in my arsenal, which is a brow pomade. That is sort of like a liquid brow instrument where you dip your little brush into it and then you use that to fill in your brows. Secondly, you can use a contour palette. Essence Cosmetics as well as NYX Cosmetics have really good contour palettes that can be used for brows. Lastly, you can use a pencil. Now, a pencil is a pretty flexible option. You could literally pick up a pencil from a street vendor and make that work for you. Or you can go for the more professional pencils. My personal faves are from Revlon, which is their brow styler or brow creator in the shade Soft Black. I feel like that allows me the flexibility to go as light or as dark as I'd like my brows to be, depending on what I'm trying to go for any particular look. And then secondly, I also use the NYX Cosmetics Professional Makeup Micro Brow Pencil, and I use that in the shade Brunette. I usually use that when I've got lighter hair or if I'm wearing a wig that's got like different shades and different tones to it. I feel like that goes perfectly with my skin tone as well as complementing my hair. Second thing that you're going to need in your kit is a primer. Now, it's very important to note that primers are not one size fits all. You need to get a specific primer for your specific skin type. I have oily skin, so most of my primers are going to either give me a matte finish or they're going to give me a dewy skin-like finish, but I prefer my skin matte. So you get 2 types of primers, right? You get a tinted primer, which has pigment in it, and then you get a normal primer that doesn't have pigment in it. My personal favorite primer is the Black Opal Invisible Oil Blocking Gel Primer. I feel like it is perfect for oily skin. It's very silky to the touch, and it applies with minimal effort, if I could put it that way. Next in my arsenal, I've got the Estee Lauder, the Mattifier Shine Control Perfecting Primer and Finisher. This is my second favorite primer and I've used this for quite a couple of years. I only recently stumbled upon the Black Opal Primer. Next up is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer, the matte one. This gives more of a natural skin-like dewy finish, but it's also really good and nourishing for oily skin. I feel like it's very similar to the Estee Lauder primer. Next up is my one and only tinted primer, which is from Essence Cosmetics. It's the My Skin Perfector Tinted Primer. This is really good for sort of blurring out any imperfections and sort of gives your foundation a helping hand. Next up is foundation. Once again, and this is something that I'm going to be saying a lot throughout this video, it's very important to pay attention to the type of foundation that you're getting. Is it suitable for your skin type? Is it just going to aggregate the type of skin type that you have? So as someone who has oily skin, I'm not going to go and get something for dry skin because that's full of moisture, full of oils as well, and that's just going to clash with my skin type and it's not gonna work. So naturally, because I'm a makeup artist, I've got a lot of foundations in my arsenal, but the ones that I specifically use for myself are mattifying foundations. My go-to foundations are from two brands. Number one being the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade Amber Honey. That is my summer shade. And my winter foundation is the Revlon Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation. I'm also a very huge fan of the Revlon Color Stay 24 Hours Mattifying Foundation, and I've got this in 2 shades. And I also like the Revlon Color Stay Life Proof Matte Foundation Stick. Now, of course, once again, makeup is subjective. So you're free to embark on a trial and error and figure out what works specifically for you. Next up, you will need a concealer. Now, what a concealer is for highlighting. You can contour with the concealer, you can conceal acne scarring or hyperpigmentation, and you can also color correct with a concealer. Now, the types of concealers that I have are mostly for highlighting and contouring. My favorites are from Revlon, the Revlon Color Stay Full Coverage Concealers. Mine are in the shade Deep, which is my highlighting shade, as well as Espresso, which is my contouring shade. I would also very much recommend LA Girl HD Pro Concealer. This is like a holy grail in most people's makeup arsenal. I have mine in the shade Fawn, as well as Light Ivory. I use Light Ivory not on my skin, but whenever I'm doing a cut crease or I need a bold eye look that needs to stand out. The great thing about LA Girl HD Pro Concealer is that in their range, they have literally everything that you need, from concealers that are the same skin tone as yours, highlighting concealers, contouring concealers, as well as color correcting concealers. So you could literally fix up your whole kit with the one brand. And the quality is really amazing for the price that you get it for. So it's a win-win. Next up, I would also recommend a Makeup Revolution concealers. I've got the shades C0, which once again, just like Light Ivory, I use for my cut creases. And I've also got the shade 12.2, which I use to highlight. And for concealing any acne scars and hyperpigmentation, I use the shade C13 or C14. Next up, you're going to need a powder. Now, I'm going to be talking about setting powders as well as contouring and bronzing powders in this section. So let's start with setting powders. You get 2 types. You get loose setting powder and you get pressed setting powder. I personally use and prefer loose setting powder, as I feel like there's more that you can do with it as opposed to pressed powder. But once again, that is a preference type of thing, and it's up to you to trial and error and figure out which one it is that you prefer. I use setting powders from 3 specific brands. I have Revlon, I have LA Girl HD Pro, as well as Black Opal. My favorite when I'm trying to go for a natural look, so a no makeup look essentially, is the Revlon Candid Photo Ready setting powder in the shade number 3. I feel like this really blends in with my skin and it leaves a velvety matte finish, which is what I gun for in general. Secondly is my LA Girl HD Pro Concealer. Now, I believe they have the translucent shade, which is sort of like an off-white color, but it sets transparent. And then they have what I have, which is the banana yellow finish. Next up, I have my Black Opal Soft Velvet finishing powders in the shades medium as well as dark. I use dark usually under my foundation when I'm trying to go for an extra matte look, and then I use medium when I'm trying to go for a perhaps night look and I need that extra pizzazz. I must note that all of these setting powders are 100% suitable for dark skin people, as I know that it can be quite tricky to try and find a setting powder or a translucent powder for your skin tone when you're darker skinned. Is it going to give flashback? Is it going to stand out? Is it going to like be obvious under your eyes? These are 100% good for it. So the whole point of a powder, whether it's loose or pressed, is to basically help mattify your skin and to sort of set your makeup. Now, I like to use mine under my eyes as well as on my T-zone. This basically helps to give a sort of mattifying effect. Like I said, I like my skin matte, period. You can also use it under your foundation when you're trying to go for an extra matte effect. There are certain times of the month when I'm extra oily, and so I use it under my foundation to sort of help me mattify my skin some more. And then as the day goes along, or even if you don't want to wear makeup but you want to blot some oiliness on your skin, powders are really good for that. And that's another reason why I prefer setting powder, because you can literally dust some on a brush and dust it all over your face and you're good to go. Next up are the contouring powders. So you can use a concealer to contour, or you can use a powder or a bronzer, or you can use both. Most of the time I use both also depending on the type of look that I'm trying to go for. So the contouring powders that I have are from Switch Beauty, which is a duo pan in the shade number 3. And then I have the Essence Beauty Contouring Duo Palette in the shade number 20. And then I have the Foschini Beauty All Women Bronze Goddess Eye Color Palette. Now this also comes with highlight, so it's kind of a win-win because not only do I get a bronzer, but I also get a highlight within the same palette. And I feel like that's a really good bargain when it comes to palettes in general, when you get a palette that you can do more than one thing with. Next up, you will need a blush. Once again, it is very important to note that blushes are also skin type specific. If I'm somebody who's dark skinned, as I am, and I get a more of a bright peachy toned blush, it might look a bit stark versus what it will look like on somebody who's rather fair skinned or lighter skinned than I am. So it's very important to pay attention to the types of blushes that are out there, what you prefer on your skin, what you'd like to stay away from, what you'd like to gravitate towards, and so forth. Now, blush palettes usually come in singles, but you can get palettes with multiple shades of blushes, which can be quite useful to play around with different looks and so forth. The first single blush palette that I have is the Essence The Blush palette in the shade number 30. This is sort of a light to medium pigmented blush, so if you're going for like a natural look or a no makeup look, this is your girl. Next up, I have the Revlon Powder Blush in the shade Very Berry or number 33. This is quite pigmented, so a little really does go a long way. It's very important to be very careful with pigmented blushes, or pigmented products in general. Start off light and then build your way up. Next up, I have the Foschini Beauty All Women Contouring Blush Palette. Now this one has various shades of blush, which are suitable for more or less all skin types. So it's just a matter of figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And because I'm a makeup artist, this type of blush palette would work perfectly for me for different clients. So once again, having a palette that has multiple uses is a bargain and advantageous. Next on the list is an eyeshadow palette. Now, the most basic eyeshadow palette that you could possibly get as a beginner is something that has a bit of everything. So it has a bit of neutrals, a bit of bright colors, a bit of matte, as well as some shimmers here and there. That is probably the most perfect makeup palette that you could get as a beginner or as somebody who's still trying out makeup or trying to see what you like and what you don't like with makeup. Makeup Revolution is an example of a brand that is not only affordable, but they have quite a nice variety of palettes to look at as well as to choose from. And you can choose between palettes that have more neutrals than brights or more brights than neutrals. But what I've noticed is that basically all of their palettes have mattes and shimmers, which is kind of perfect. Over time, you'll start to build up your repertoire of makeup palettes, and before you know it, you'll have a bit of everything, which is really great because then you get a large variety to choose from, sometimes too much to choose from, but that's not the point. So these are some examples of palettes that I have and I've been enjoying over time. The next item is mascara. Now, it's very important before you buy a mascara to know what you're looking for from a mascara. Are you looking for volume? Are you looking for length? Are you looking for something that's going to plump up your lashes? Or are you looking for something that's going to sort of curl your lashes? Figure out what you want from the mascara and then go from there. So what I usually look for in a mascara is something that's going to give me volume. I really love lashes, as you can tell, as well as something that's going to slightly lengthen my lashes. My personal favorite for this is the Essence Cosmetics Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. This is a very affordable mascara. It's only 70 rands at most pharmacies and most beauty store outlets. And for that price, I think you really win. Next in my arsenal is the Black Opal Super Volumizing Mascara. This is really great if you want volume. Next is the Revlon Ultimate All-in-One Mascara. This is really great for natural looks. So if you want somewhat a little bit of volume, but not so much that it's like a glam look. Some other mascaras that I have are the Essence Cosmetics Bye Bye Panda Eyes. This mascara is smudge proof. I've tested it, and it's volumizing and defining. So if you want some volume and definition, this is your girl. And then I've also got the Avon Power Stay Waterproof Mascara. This offers volume, and if you maybe are somebody who's going to be swimming or doing such activities, this would be good for you. As well as the Kiki Beauty Lash Legend Lengthening Mascara. So this is a perfect example of something that's going to give you length versus volume. Second to last of the basic products that you need in your kit is a setting spray. Now, because I have oily skin, I'm going to gravitate towards a matte setting spray. My go-to setting spray is the Makeup Revolution Matte Fix Oil Control Fixing Spray. This is very affordable and it really works in terms of making your makeup stay in place and lasting basically the whole day. If you're somebody who has normal skin, then you could go for the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Fixing Mist. I find that this gives more of a natural dewy finish, so it doesn't necessarily mattify, but it also doesn't necessarily over moisturize. Now, if you're somebody who has dry skin and you like to gravitate away from setting sprays in general, you could use a face mist if that's what you have. My absolute personal favorite face mist that I swear by, I use both on myself as well as on clients, is the Switch Beauty Superhero Spray. Now, I use the Glass Skin Edition for skin prep before I apply makeup, and then I normally use the pink bottle as a setting spray. Another note is that if you're somebody who has oily skin, but then you find that mattifying setting sprays over dry your skin, what you can do is you can use a normal setting spray or a face mist, and then after spraying, dab it out with a beauty blender, and you can also apply some powder, like a little bit of powder, to the beauty blender so that it sort of blots out the moist spots. Last but definitely not least is lipstick. Now, there are 3 types of lipstick. You can get a matte lipstick, you can get a glossy lipstick, or you can get a creamy lipstick. Now, I usually advise that you have at least 3 lippies in your kit. A red lippy, a nude lippy, as well as one that pops. So a completely different colored lippy. Now, I've got quite a lot of matte lippies in my arsenal, so I'll start with the lipsticks that are matte. My matte lipsticks are mainly from Avon, and my favorites are the nude, which is Continuous Cocoa, the red, which is Constant Cherry, and the colored, which is Go On Grape. And then I've got quite a few liquid matte lipsticks. So I've got 3 from NYX Cosmetics. These are more on the nude side of life. And then I really love the L'Oreal Paris Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick in the Les Chocolates range. Back to NYX Cosmetics is the Line and Load, so you can use this as a liquid liner as well as a lipstick. And then my go-to red liquid lipstick is from Foschini Beauty. Last but definitely not least are some examples of my glossy lipsticks. Now, I know I'm going to sound like a Revlon representative, but what can I say? Revlon is my gal. So I've got their Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polishes. My personal favorites are their red, which is the shade Cherry on Top. And then there's Somewhat Nudes, which are Act Natural as well as Birthday Suit. Now, what is a lip kit without lip gloss? My absolute favorite lip glosses are from Essence Cosmetics, and those are the Shine 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 Wet Look lip glosses. So I've got the clear shade as well as a sort of pinkish shade, but both of them basically do the same job. So that is basically everything that you need in a makeup kit. That is a basic makeup kit. That is everything that you need to create either a simple makeup look if you're looking for a no makeup look, or a very basic makeup look like the one that I've got on. The only thing that makes my look right now dramatic is the lashes. Otherwise, I've got one eyeshadow shade on, and then I've got another shade in the inner corner of my eyes, and that's about it. Some extra items that you can go for if you'd like to sort of extend your kit. Liquid eyeliner. I really love the liquid eyeliners from Essence Cosmetics. Not only are they affordable, but they really last long. I personally prefer the liquid eyeliner pens because I feel like they're easier to control, but you can also get the dip eyeliners. They work perfectly as well. And then I've also got the Switch Beauty hashtag Liquid Luck liquid eyeliner. The next item that is optional is an eyeliner. The nice thing about eyeliners is that they also work as lip liners, so you kind of get a 2-in-1 type of thing. So that's also very important to keep in mind when you're choosing the colors that you go for. Now for eyes, I would recommend a basic black eyeliner, a basic white eyeliner, and then maybe 2 or 3 colored eyeliners. And you can go for colors that you maybe usually go for on your eyeshadow, or colors that might pop and sort of accentuate your look. The last thing that I've got on my optional list is lashes. Now, I personally think that lashes are a staple because they take your look from damn to damn. But if you're somebody who's still starting out with makeup, then lashes are completely non-compulsory. What comes with lashes is a glue, unless you're using magnetic lashes, in which case you will use the magnetic liner. And then you also need to have a pair of tweezers, unless you learn to apply the lashes using your fingers. Either or completely works. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the description box down below if there's anything else that I could have added, or if you found this video useful at all. Once again, be on the lookout for part 2 of this video, where I'll be detailing the basic brushes that you need in your kit, as well as their uses. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, honey, please subscribe down below. Click the notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you're notified every time I post a video, and stay tuned to more Vuloian greatness. I will see you in my next video. I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I wish you a great week further.